So, unbelievably, you did come to the live chat and live stream again. Welcome back to another green day here on Wall Street. I'm not live from Wall Street, but I'm currently live streaming from one of the most beautiful cities worldwide, which is Dubai. So let me know where you guys are watching from. This is one of the favorite questions I would like to ask you to type into the live chat, and also let me know your questions so during this stream I can have a look to those questions, and it would be great if those questions are related to our today's topic, which is the earnings. And I did this very sophisticated calendar which earnings we will talk about by today. So by diving directly into it, let's just talk about some dates here. So Tuesday we are awaiting Netflix and Snapchat. Why Snapchat is so important, I will go right into it. And also I want to let you know that Amazon is one of my big earnings that is coming up. And on Wednesday 29th, mistakenly Nasdaq.com just guided us wrongly to 22nd of April as earnings date. So make sure to mark your calendar to the 29th of April as the earnings date for Tesla. And so these are the quite next big earnings. Obviously, we will have also the week after Microsoft and Facebook, but those are the four companies that we want to talk about by today. Maybe you are an investor in those. I think those are the pretty much exciting ones. But let's dive into the market real quick. What the absolutely crazy money printing market is doing right now. And if we are looking here into the market, we shall see the following. So the S&P 500 is plus 1.6 percentage points. The Dow Jones is 1.8 percentage points. Shopify, those are basically my watch lists right now. Those are also recommended in my regular vlogs. So if you are new here, make sure to subscribe. But even more important for the mighty algorithm of YouTube, make sure to like this episode as well here, as well as any other video that you might follow on this channel. So you see here that the stocks that I'm following or showing you guys are very big gainers today. Win Casino, I think they posted some gains of 14%, which is fantastic. Shopify, I think, is one of the big winners beside Amazon. That will be definitely one of those that will be coming out of this much stronger. We see the Dow Jones a little bit up, S&P up, Tesla up once again, and Amazon up. The Amazon down actually a couple of percentage points. The whole market was quite high pre-market, as there was the news of Gilead Science having first reactions on the medication remdesivir that is apparently working not so bad, and therefore we see this hopes into the market. But we also see at the same time that the people are using this rally to take some gains off the table and realize a little bit of their gains over the last couple of weeks and days, because we had a tremendous rally. If we are looking into the week, the Dow Jones did this week about 1.7. No, that's not that much. The S&P same, but if we are looking into the last 2 or 3 weeks, then we see that the indexes could gain about 7 to 10%, which is quite interesting. I think that what we should watch definitely next week will be that those indexes and stocks might be a little bit under pressure, because we might see that there's some rebalancing by big funds that are having, let's say, 70% stocks, 30% bonds, and need to rebalance as they made now a couple of bucks on the stocks. They have to rebalance now into other asset classes. So maybe we see a little bit of funds going out of stocks, but this is just the mechanics of the market, which I think are also important. It's not only important to know, hey, what is the PE ratio, but a little bit of mechanics of the market is always important, especially if you are trading a little bit short term. Then you should know, okay, what is important, that we have, options and expiry dates, big funds or money moving in or out the markets. Currently we don't have, for example, not much volume in the market. This can also give us a little bit of spikes up and down quite heavily when compared to when these stocks are having much more volume into the market. But let's dive into today's topic, right? Which is the earnings season. And let me give you a little bit of introduction why I believe those 4 companies are quite importantly to watch. Let's start with Netflix. Netflix, I am not David Copperfield, but I can suggest that or guess most probably rightly that you are a Netflix customer, and this is something that surely increased over the last couple of weeks since we all stayed much more time at home, and I really think that this gave Netflix an unbelievable boost. We can dive, if you guys are having the time and the patience with me, since you came to the most desirable stock market live stream here on YouTube right now. Let's dive into one of my favorite research tool, which is Google Trends. Just easily just type in Google Trends, TRNEDS. I didn't want a vocabulary or spelling competition, and most probably never will, but if you're putting this on Google, you will find this quite easily, and then you just put Netflix in and see that we had a couple of nice spike right now in this time. So this will show us a little bit of guidance what can be expected. I think they will just show us that they had a huge demand and usage of their platform, and also will have into the future. I think from all the content houses, they are one of the most important to watch. I love the content. I think also 2 of the series or recent series like Ozark or Tiger King added a little bit to the demand of Netflix, and I believe that they making a brilliant content, brilliant philosophy and culture. They are having a little bit of advantage towards Disney Plus, for example, because Disney Plus is something that you get also lots and lots for free as a bundle in the US. Also the same for Apple. You will get also for free if you, I think, buy a new iPhone or another Apple gadget. So keep this in mind. Even though they're having millions of new subscribers, lots of them are free of charge customers that don't go into, the bank account later on for the companies. I think that Netflix will be super strong in this quarter, and you see this little ghost here with in this yellow app sign will also Snapchat will also give us some numbers, and I think there's one big reason why I want to follow this very, very closely, because think about that this is one of the social media companies that are reporting numbers, and we will see a short glimpse of what social media companies can await during this earnings. Because think about it, we will have also Facebook reporting, we will have also Twitter reporting, and maybe this give us a chance to evaluate a deal or an estimation of the earnings of Facebook or the other platforms like Twitter. So I believe that social media will be an interesting play, because on the one side, I believe they will be catched by the wave of just people sitting more at home, having more time, using more social media. And on the other side, they will be hit on the revenue side, because companies will and have already reduced marketing budgets, right? So they are affected by those less spent dollars on advertising. And I think Facebook or the other platforms already said, hey guys, just for your information, we definitely have more users, but we also see less advertising. And this is not an advertising for the brand of Arwa water. This is just staying hydrated right now. And I believe that this will be a super interesting play to see, okay, how Netflix is doing, how Snapchat is doing during this times, and then how we can position maybe on the Facebook and Twitter in the next days. Remember, I also said this, I think, yesterday, but I love to repeat things that are super important and into context. Twitter is maybe one of the most used platforms right now, but they are heavily dependent on events. So they are much Twittered, and people are using this, and events can push out advertising dollars on Twitter to promote events. And as we don't have events, maybe also Twitter will be hugely affected. So I'm very excited about Snapchat therefore. And if we are looking into the calendar, Thursday the 23rd of April will be one very big day for Amazon, and we talked about yesterday in fully about that. So if you want to go into the analysis of this, why Amazon is 3 pillars very important for the earnings. One is the e-commerce business, second is the AWS business. For example, Netflix is a big client of AWS, and third is also the advertising business of Amazon. So if you are interested into that, make sure to look for my yesterday's live stream. And just because we have the time obviously here, don't miss today's episode of my daily vlog, where I'm talking about, if you missed the recent rally, then maybe you should go and watch this vlog. It calls No FOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out. You know, some people was watching the recent rally and was totally lost in the market and see, hey, what's going on, you know, just because this guy pumped a little bit money into the market, you know, we all went totally crazy. So I really recommend to watch this episode of this day. But let's have a look. The last earning date that currently is on schedule is Wednesday, the 29th of April. This is the earnings date of Tesla. By the way, I will also live stream all of those earnings, so make sure to stay tuned, subscribe and like this channel if you are new here, and if you're old and regular, then just give us a like. This will help us to grow this community. You know, I'm putting a lot of passion and time, and I'm looking now into your comments right now. So we have people here from Florida, Seattle, Toronto, Denmark, Toronto again, Montreal, Germany, Uruguay, Toronto, Francisco from Portugal, Canadian, what else we have here? Okay, so we are quite international today. Mostly on the Americanas side, with lots of people from Toronto and US. Very nice. So let me just give you a small introduction what we had, because we had a couple of earnings already, okay? And they were not so bad. So people were expecting, wow, will the effect already been seen in the current earnings? And they were, but you know, it was quite okay. So it was not like a shock moment where everybody said, I'm going out of the stock market, or we have a big crash. So people are somehow anticipating bad earnings. So in some way it's priced in already. But I think we didn't saw yet a company that, or other way around. What we have seen, if a company was surprisingly a little bit better than expected. Okay, like Nike, for example. Nike did a horrible quarter in sales with 30% less, but online sales went up 50% less, right? And people were like, wow, we are just changing from retail to online, and the stock went up 7%. The same was with companies like bank stocks, right? They said, hey, we had a decrease of our normal business, but our trading business, because of the high volatility, because high volatility means for investment banks huge profits, and you know, that helped the companies and also helped the stock market, right? And therefore I believe that if Netflix, Amazon, and Tesla maybe as well, and Snap, giving us a little bit over expectation, we will see good spikes into the stock. This is what we can see now in the current environment of earnings, because in the earnings season in general, first the earnings of banks are due, and then we see over the next couple of days then the other companies, and then over the next let's say a month or two. A big winner from all of this, I think, is Blackrock. You know, Blackrock is one of the biggest assets companies in the world, and Larry Fink was recently on CNBC and the CEO, and he was he was quite let's say he was quite laughing because he was not affected that much. The Federal Bank of America made a deal with the biggest investor or asset company in the world, which is BlackRock, and they are basically giving them money to invest for the US government. And I think if they lose the money, no problem, they just print new one. And if they make money, then maybe BlackRock will get a nice commission on top as a cherry on the cake. So I think this is a big winner of the crisis. Maybe also interesting play for an investment, but I didn't look much into that. If you want me to, let me know in the comments. And apropos comments, let's have a look if you guys have any so far that I can dive into, like nice dolphin. Let's see. Amazon earnings is on 30th April, right? Please confirm. I don't think so. I just looked it up today. So I think we are seeing next week already the Amazon earnings, but I will have a look. JJ is saying, wow, Amazon price went down. Yes, they were down about 3.5%. And when we checked last time, they went back to 2.5. So we see this little bit of gains taken from the table. However, you know, I think that Amazon can be in the near future, over the next couple of months, at $3,000 or more dollars. Think about it. Don't look at the price only. If you're looking into the price or how much the stock made already, stocks, first of all, don't have any, let's say, memory, right? They don't know that they were yesterday or the last 5 days up. They can go 20 days up in a row, right? So don't think that, you know, just it's all-time high, we cannot go higher. Look in all the different areas, information, a little bit of basics. You know, PE ratio is maybe, for example, for Amazon, the PE ratio for Amazon as of this moment is one of the lowest since 2011. So think about it. Even though consumer behavior is changing to online business, Amazon is, from the PE ratio, one of the cheapest since 2011. So a bargain, right? What will Tesla Q1 report do with the stock? Up or down, in your opinion? It will depend on the earnings. Obviously, I think good earnings. As I said, I think the general psychology on the market right now is if we have little surprises, people are jumping on stocks right now as safe havens because they have seen how fast it can go down. So they pick some winners like Amazon, like Tesla maybe, and other companies that they think that can survive the next couple of months without going back down quite significantly. Maybe Walmart, this kind of companies that are currently right now really safe in those environments, don't lose any business or even make more business. Shall I buy Netflix stock now? Well, that's a decision that you should do by your own. Obviously, I cannot make any advice here. This is just for information, education, and entertainment purpose only. I'm not the financial advisor. Just what I would love you to understand. How I'm thinking on the market. You can get a lot of information here totally for free, and then make your own decision on your investment. Wolf, how can we call you? What name? My name is Danny. So what are your thoughts on Amazon price going down? This is what I just answered. We have Boston here. New York City is here as well. Then we will have will Tesla vehicle sales reach 200,000 in Q3? Per Q1 production level table, Tesla will produce over 185 vehicles in Q3. Well, this all depends when they reopen, right? But I can assure you that Elon Musk will do anything possible to reopen Tesla as soon as he can. In the next second, he will do it. We have seen that Tesla was one of the companies that closes the last because they said, we need to produce Tesla cars. And you see this dedication, and this is what I love about Tesla. Therefore, I believe, as soon as they can open, they will open. What else we have here in the comments? So what would you do if you only had $100 to invest? Now, if I have only $100 to invest, here's what I would do. Instead of stocks, I would buy options, because options have a particular part. Let's say it this way. An option will multiply your investment into a stock. So let's say the stock is making 5% plus, your option can make 10% or 30%, that percentage number that is being done on the stock. And therefore, I believe such small amounts that you can lose, it's rather being better invested into options rather than the stock itself. But no amount is too less for a nice stock and long-term stock investment, right? Uber, no, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Uber at all. I mean, I love the product, and every time I ride an Uber, I say, thank you very much, Uber, for sponsoring this ride for me, because Uber is not making any money, and therefore they are paying for my ride in the end of the day. I know I shouldn't say this anymore, but I don't like Uber that much. I don't see any, once this is over in 1 or 2 years and we start to Uber again, then maybe Tesla already came out with the self-driving cars, and we don't see any Uber anymore. So we shall see. Is everyone holding through the weekend or taking a little bit off the table? I think most of the people are. I think they are taking off the traders. I think it's very hard in those timings to hold on trades over the weekend. You never know which news comes out when. Now, for example, just last overnight, the news with Gideon Sainz came out and the stock market went up 3%. So it's absolutely ridiculous. So discover or city options, 100% gains long term. In options you can lose more than that to a 100. Okay, so Yarek Dana is asking if you can lose more than your principal. So this depends on the type of the option. So right, so there are options that you just lose whatever you put inside this call options, or you can lose also more than invested, but this is also more like CBCs or other financial products, which I don't recommend. Holding for years to come for me on Tesla. Yeah, I mean, Tesla is definitely a long-term play. It can give you heart attacks because it's a freaking roller coaster, and therefore I believe that Tesla is really a stock that you should really trust, right?
6.5 hours later.
So hydrated back. I think Tesla is a stock, hate it or love it. Same with Amazon. People said for years, Amazon cannot go over $500. Amazon they can go over $1,000. Amazon cannot go over $2,000. Amazon cannot go over $3,000, and you get the point, right? And the same happened with Tesla. No way over 500, no way over 750. If the company is revolutionizing how we live and how we consume products, then they can go very much up. And then it's the question of reinventing themselves. And I believe companies like Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, making such a wonderful job of reinventing themselves that they becoming those trillion-dollar companies. And I feel that this is a nice ending of this live stream. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you tomorrow. And don't forget, like this episode, and I say goodbye, good night, and a happy weekend, and I see you tomorrow.